Welcome in, everyone, to a very special edition of Average Joe Sports Talk. Got my man Josh here, and we are actually hosting a huge McGregor-Khabib fight this weekend here at my house for the channel. So we wouldn't feel like we was doing it justice unless we at least touch on that fight. I know we hadn't dove into MMA, and I can't think of a better fight maybe in history to dive into than this one. I've watched MMA since it started coming up. I remember watching the Gracies and those guys do what they did, and then Shamrock, and you move up to the Iceman and some of those guys. So I've loosely watched it over the last few years. When George St. Pierre got popular, I dove more into it. He's personally my favorite, which I think is kind of unique when talking about this fight, because this fight reminds me a lot of his return fight. When he had taken 2 years off. You remember that?
Yeah.
And he actually went up a size, and I think that really he looked rusty when he was fighting, but he got the job done. Now,
yeah.
I do think Conor McGregor is one of the best conditioned athletes that the sport's ever seen. I think you agree with that.
Oh, definitely. And he's gonna gas you out before he gets gassed.
Right. And now the only person I've ever seen that and I just don't think he took him serious is when he fought Nate. You could tell Conor was completely gassed in that fight.
The second time they faced each other, he was
totally
prepared.
different.
Yeah.
He went the whole time. He didn't have any hiccups. Now in this fight, he's fighting a whole nother animal. Like Khabib, it's not really been. I don't want to say he's not been tested, but he's never. It's like a football game when you know your team's going to win. You have some struggles during the game, but you never feel like you're going to lose. That's pretty much been his career. And Vegas has him a pretty decent-sized favorite. And not only that, the Cage Report, which we looked at, actually has him a 71% chance to win the fight. And they're saying they're thinking he's going to win it in a decision. Now, when you say that, you look at the tail of the tape. They're both 30 years old, relatively the same size. Khabib's 5'10", Conor's 5'9". Both 155, obviously. The difference is, and I think this is huge, especially with the striking ability and stance that McGregor has, where he's basically back. He's got a 4-inch reach on him, which I think could be huge in this fight.
Will play a huge factor, especially considering that Khabib's going to want to shoot, and he's the grappler. McGregor's takedown defense is superb. I mean, there's no one in the game that has a better fight IQ than McGregor. So he's going to come in kind of like what we talked about the other day with Batman. He's going to come in with a plan to win.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So his camp, he's had the same team from the day he started till today. He's very loyal to them. They're loyal to him. They're going to come up with a plan.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be interesting. The thing that I think is going to be interesting the most, the psychological warfare that he plays with people is unparalleled. You've had some, let's just call it what it is, shit talkers over the years.
Yes.
You've never had a McGregor type shit talker.
No. Not only is his fight IQ great, but his pre-fight IQ, his gamesmanship is off the charts. I watched a video the other day detailing his body language and Khabib's body language, and it was just a great video, very informative, and he gets in your head, and fighters that have faced him have admitted, hey, look, he got me, all of that talk, it had me so mad, it took me out of my game because all I wanted to do was punch him. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to get reads, he's trying to get you to do stuff to get you out of your comfort zone.
The fights already began when they face off and they do the interviews. The fights already began. Because just what you said, he is already preparing you to get you out of your game.
And normally, during a press run, he has several press conferences, several meetings, several interviews to kind of fill you out. And once he finds what gets at you, he can kind of dig at it for a little while. But with this fight, he only had one presser.
With no fans.
And he's going to have the weigh-in, but he won't really get a chance to do anything other than stand face-to-face with him.
And didn't you think that was pretty strange? And I think Dana White did it on purpose, that they did not allow any fans or press in the building when they did those interviews. And Conor McGregor openly complains that this is, his words, is bullshit. Yeah, I want somebody here so they can see me, the littlest man.
He feeds off of that. He loves to get reactions from the crowd, and when the crowd gets into it, it just feeds him.
Oh, he just keeps going.
And that kind of lets him know that he's hit a pretty strong chord. With this presser, I thought it was very interesting. He hit topic to topic, looking for something. And if he's seen that it wasn't getting a rise out of Khabib, he brought out 12 Proper, his whiskey.
He called him a terrorist.
He called his trainer a terrorist snitch, which he is, by the way. I watched a full breakdown of that presser, and Khabib went. Who was that guy that dropped that Drake diss?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He did his homework on this guy. I mean, and just mentally destroyed. It was almost like Khabib had no idea who McGregor was, and McGregor knew every single detail of this guy's life.
Oh yeah.
That's
part of his.
Khabib is being funded by this guy that was just arrested in Russia for embezzling, and McGregor knew all about it.
And brought it up.
Yes.
The beautiful part to me with Conor is, and I've said this all along, and the numbers don't lie. Khabib, net worth $1 million. Conor McGregor's net worth $99 million.
$99 million.
Now let me tell you what's wrong with that picture. Khabib is 26-0, without question, the favorite if he fought anybody in his weight class right now. He's the favorite over Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's 21-3, but he's worth $98 more million than Khabib.
Deservedly so.
What does that tell you? It tells me two things. This guy is doing something that everybody wants to see, and he's good as hell at it.
He has made the statement that because the belt that Khabib is bringing to this match is a belt that he picked up off the ground when Conor McGregor left it sitting vacant. Mm-hmm. So that, to me, that's Conor's belt.
And on top of that, what about the incident with the bus? When
Yes.
Conor's throwing chairs and actually injured people on the bus. I thought he was going to be banned for UFC for life, but then Dana White seen that money and he's like, I can't do that.
Can't do that. And that's the thing is that all started and that all happened because Khabib roughed up his coach.
Yep.
And he was not going to have it. He would go to war for any of those guys.
Oh yeah.
When he was a kid, McGregor was picked on and bullied, and that's why he has the same team that he's had. He said, about his circle, he said, I keep it small. No one gets in, no one gets out.
That's it. I like it.
I do too.
It's going to be an interesting fight. Khabib's the favorite. Your money and your logic, you would kind of want to put on Khabib, but your inner self, your alpha male inside of you wants to pull from McGregor because you want to see him do what he does. It's tough for me, but I think Brandon Schaub said it best when he was on interviewing with on the Joe Rogan show, and he said, look, you can compare this to college football. He said Conor McGregor and Khabib is just like this, just like last year's national champions. There's an argument on who's better. He said Khabib is UCF. He's beat everybody on his schedule, but his schedule is a fraction of what Conor McGregor's schedule is. But he said, to Khabib's credit, he's done it and done it in good fashion. He's very, very good at what he does, and he's done what he's supposed to do. But he said Conor is in the SEC, and he's playing heavy hitters. He's playing LSU one week. He's playing Georgia the next week. He's playing Auburn the next week. He's playing Florida. That's McGregor's schedule. Now, when you play better teams, what does it make your team better?
Yeah.
That's why Schaub said, I don't care what Vegas says, I favor Conor McGregor in this fight for that simple fact. And the warfare, the mental warfare that Khabib's never been in, that Conor is excellent at. Can Khabib control himself? Schaub don't think he can.
Khabib this will be brand new territory for him. He did fight a championship fight, but nothing to this. He's going to be like the Russian, deer in the headlights. And Conor McGregor, he's at home. This is every fight he fights is big.
I agree.
That's where he feels best.
Last thing we're going to say, we're going to wrap this up. I want your prediction and why.
I think McGregor wins. he does a great job with his takedown defense. He's faced 2 wrestlers, and he's beat both of them, Chad Mendez and Eddie Alvarez. I think McGregor will catch him with a counter punch with his left, and I think not only is it difficult to prepare for a southpaw, but a southpaw that keeps his hands down is twice as difficult.
And he's like this. You have to come in to get to him, and when you do, you're putting yourself in a danger zone.
You're going to get punched.
Ask Jose Aldo.
Yep. First punch.
Who I thought was the best in that weight class forever. My final prediction is this. My heart's telling me McGregor's going to win this fight. But my gut's telling me Khabib's going to win this fight. And here's why I say that. Had they fought when Conor's in his regular regiment and just, every few months fighting, I think Conor beats him. I don't think there's any question. But the 2-year layoff, I think, is going to catch up with him finally. And I think Khabib is going to outlast him. I think the rust is going to show up just enough for Khabib to take advantage of it. I think Khabib either wins very late or decision. I don't see... Conor's going to have to knock him out to beat him. I don't think he's going to win a decision against this guy, because this guy does make people fight ugly. I think Khabib in a very, very close fight.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It could go either way.
It could.
This is Average Joe Sports Talk. We're about to shut this one down. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications to get the new videos that's dropped. Have a good night.